Kia ora and welcome. My name is Ellen Rose and this is the Creative Cure to Boredom. I've created this channel to explore and share some creative approaches to art using everyday materials you can find in your own home. I've created the channel in the hope that it makes the current lockdown and isolation situation just a little bit more bearable. Today we're going to have a look at transferring some of your favourite images onto other objects or material. So we've gone and scavenged some wood and some rocks and some scraps of material, and we're going to try to transfer some of our favourite images onto them using just PVA glue. My little helper today is Bryce. He's my nephew and he'll be helping me out to make some art. I hope you enjoy this video. Cheers! We have images we really liked and we've reversed them on the computer, so they're basically doing a mirror image, and we've used a basic inkjet printer with them. This is particularly important if you have writing on your picture, so that it ends up being the right way around in the final artwork.
We were putting glue on one of Brett's old t-shirts, and then, well, two, and then we're putting the image face down on the top. We're doing the same thing again with the wood.
We want to make sure we cover each surface really generously with the glue. We're using a basic PVA kids glue. If you have access to Mod Podge at home, it's really good for this process. I'm just using a ruler to straighten out any air bubbles that may have formed in between the picture and the material that we're using, and I'm just scraping off any of that excess glue as well.
We left them overnight. That was not working so well.
No, your one wasn't working very well, was it?
No.
I think maybe we should have left it longer to dry. So we did leave it for over 24 hours. I would suggest leaving it for a little bit longer to make sure that it has completely dried. We're just wetting this with a bit of water. I've used an old detergent bottle and I've just filled it up with some water. And rubbing the picture off with your hands will work easier. If you're finding that a bit difficult, you can use a soft sponge or a little bit of material, but we don't want to rub off the entire image. We just want to rub off the paper, so you do have to be quite delicate with it at times. The rock surface was a little bit too bumpy and we had a lot of the image coming off of it, and the image that was staying on it was just a little bit too dark on the dark rock, so we couldn't really see it.
I like Cappy.
Yeah.
I really do. We used the hairdryer to dry them out. Hope you enjoyed this video.
So this is our final result. Now this was an experiment, this art activity. Normally when I do this project, I do it on canvas, and I think possibly canvas absorbs the ink from the paper a lot better than some of these smoother materials. So I think the rocks probably worked the least well. So you can see my rock there. One of the big problems with this was that white isn't an ink, so it's only the ink that's going to transfer, and the rock was already quite dark. But the other side of it is I don't think the paper and the ink really wanted to stick to this at all with the PVA, and that's Bryce's rock as well. So the next one that I don't think worked particularly well was the wood. So we can see there that quite a lot of Bryce's image came off when it should have stayed attached. We do have a relatively clear toad in the Mario characters, but apart from that, pretty much everyone else was at least partially rubbed off. So one of the problems too, I think, was that we could have left it a little bit longer to dry. So we left it for 24 hours, but we could have left it for even 3 days, would have worked really well. My one came out a little bit better than Bryce. So this is my old dog, Gnarly. She was a Neapolitan Mastiff, and I do think that she looks gorgeous, even though parts of her face are missing in this picture. So all we've done over the top of this is we've added a little bit of baby oil to make the picture a little bit more clear. The third one we did was, of course, on the old t-shirt material. Now, my one came up really clear, actually. I was quite happy with that. Bryce's one came out, but it's actually really pale for some reason. And when we go back and look at the original image that we used, there was actually a lot of white in the image. So it may have been more in the image selection rather than anything else. I have been wondering, though, if this activity would work well on material if we used a material glue instead of just a PVA paper and sort of wood glue. That way, maybe we'd be able to wash the material afterwards. As it stands, we can't wash any of these. They just are as they are. I think this is an activity that we're definitely going to come back to again and try with some different materials and leave for a little bit longer to let it set a bit better. We would love to hear what you've done with this activity, if you've printed on another material entirely, or if you've tried out some of our ideas and it's worked out a little bit better. Please share your thoughts and suggestions down below. I have been Ellen Rose and my little helper was Bryce. This has been the Creative Cure to Boredom. Till next time, ngā mihi nui.